I'm totally hungover. I might have exaggerated yesterday evening with the drinking and also exaggerated with having almost no sleep for the last couple of days. So today is an entire hangover day. The coffee helped a little. Time to take a shower.
Down on the street, my feet repeat the simple left and right. Taking me there somewhere, don't care but I'm out there now.
Feeling already a little bit better, and this will help me even more. I finally feel good enough to really talk to you. This morning when I woke up, I felt exactly like Leonardo DiCaprio in the Wolf of Wall Street movie. That's exactly how I got back home and sneaked into bed. So I was thinking about introducing another segment into these videos. I already do the Q&As, the track submits, both are a lot of fun. And today I want to do the third one. I think it will be called something like Hangover History Time. It will be mostly me sitting here trying to cure my hangover and talk with you about things that happened in my past. I've already briefly mentioned yesterday that I did those club events with Gordon together. I also showed you the club where it was taking place. This building right behind me there on the first floor. So I was thinking about talking a bit more about this part of my life that actually started right when I was 18 years old. At that time around I was already DJing quite a lot and I was just thinking about doing my own events. I really rented a club the day I turned 18 where I was allowed to sign the contract and had a date for a month later. I printed flyers and posters to promote the event in all of the schools in the city. I had in every school somebody that helped me to sell tickets. And I did this for this entire month until the evening of the first event. Of course, I was super excited. I was worried that nobody will show up. At 8:30 already, the first people were standing in line in front of the club. I talked a bit with them and they told me everybody knows about this event. So at this point, I already knew that this will be a great success. I was of course DJing myself with a lot of my DJ friends. I made quite a lot of money for just being 18 years old, but I only did it this one time. I really got into trouble in school because I wasn't really going there anymore, just taking care of promoting the event. So I quit doing it and focused more on DJing again. Then a couple of years later, during my time in university, I was thinking about doing events again with Gordon together. But this time not really the smart way, just promote, get a lot of people to attend and make it easy and simple to just make money. This time we did it out of passion because we loved the music, and this is sometimes a big mistake. We rented a really small unknown club that I showed you yesterday. The club didn't really have regular people that would just go there on every Friday and Saturday. The club didn't do any promotion. It was actually just a room that you could rent within the city center. Also, every time we did an event there, we had to pay for the light and for the sound. This entire club was maybe just for 100 people, so really tiny. And we were so stupid to book really big DJs that were super expensive. For our opening, we booked Di Ramirez. He is a very well-known DJ. He had one super big hit called Body Rocks. He also produced together with Mark Knight and Underworld downpipe track that I really love. We paid a lot for him. We also paid for his flight from London and we paid for him a 5-star hotel. And if you just think about it and calculate 100 people paying 10 euros entrance fee, and what the DJ gets and what we had to pay for the flight and everything, it just doesn't add up. So just after the first event we were completely broke. We had kind of to cancel the next events and replace the bigger DJs we wanted to book with smaller local DJs. This actually went a little bit better because you have to pay those DJs a lot less and they bring all of their friends with them. Sometimes more people even show up when a local is playing in a club than a bigger DJ that you fly in from abroad. After 2 events, we also figured out that the people here in the city didn't really like this club. So for the last event, I think it was event number 4 or 5, we switched to another location. This was by far the best thing we could have done. It went really great, and almost all of the money we lost we got kind of back on this last event, but we both decided to not do it anymore. It was too stressful. Just 4 or 5 months of our lives were gone, and we had a bit less money than before, so it was pointless doing that. This was really the one thing that showed me that I should concentrate onto making music and producing. I never did events again after that, and I think I will never do any of them again. It's not really my thing. It's too stressful, it's too risky. It's even way more risky than being a full-time DJ and producer. So I learned my lesson, and this was like the last step that really made me decide to drop out of college and fully focus on making music. Which was also not the best idea, to be honest, but that's another story. Despite all of the mistakes we did, we had really great flyers and a really cool name. The events were called Accents. I still somehow like the logo and the name. Maybe I will be able to use it for something else in the future. I'm not really sure for what, but maybe you guys have an idea. I completely forgot to tell you how I was kicked out of this club and I wasn't allowed to go there anymore. I will tell you everything about it later. I now promised Vanessa to, I don't know, to make something with her. We're meeting friends. What are we doing with them?
Eating and drinking.
Eating and drinking, as always. That's the best part about being old.
You're old. I'm not.
It's way too sunny for my hangover and way too loud. I really want to go back home, but I don't have another option. Breakfast. I'm back at home. Let's also get back to the story. This little club there belonged to the location underneath, which is called Kulisse and belongs to a very famous German Schlager singer called Jürgen Drews, who's just making really horrible music. So for the last date we moved to another club and gave someone else our date in that location. We took a little bit of money for it, something I'm not super proud of, but it was totally legal and within our rights. The guy running the place for this famous German singer was already the entire time really strange to us, but finding out that we rented the location to someone else got him to totally overreact, in my opinion. He called 2 of his bouncers. They cornered me in the street and threatened to hit me. Then one of the bouncers pulled out a knife of his pocket, one of those foldable knives. And this was really the first time in my life I was really scared, didn't know what to do. I mean, at this point I already expected to get punched in the face, but really seeing a knife in front of me is a total game changer. This is permanent damage and a threat to my life. So the only option I had was screaming for help. This was the first time, and I also think the only time in my life where I had to do it. And luckily the back entrance of the police station is just right next to that location. And in that moment 2 police officers left the station to get to their cars and hurt me. So guess what happened? The guy with the knife got a warning, nothing else, which is a complete joke to me, but I was happy that I just could leave the place without anything happening to me. Even while I was leaving and the police was still standing in between of us, the guy threatened to kill me when I ever enter his street again or his bar. Strange guy, really strange guy. This happened maybe 7-8 years ago. Since then I heard about at least 5 knife stabbings that happened in that place. It was even shut down for half a year, and the guy running the place spent I think a year or a year and a half in prison. but I think for something else it was something that had to do with taxes. This entire incident was just another reason for me to stop organizing parties. This club scene can get dangerous from time to time. I had another incident where people were throwing bottles into my direction of the DJ booth, but that's maybe something for another edition of Hangover History Time. I don't know what I should call it. Maybe Hangover Stories or Hangover... I think Hangover Story Time is probably the best. So I hope you enjoyed this first edition of Hangover Story Time. Let me know what you want to hear in the next edition, or which segment of my life is interesting you the most. I spent half a year in Berlin. I dropped out of college and hated college. I hated school. I hated elementary school. I think the only thing I really loved was kindergarten. It was just awesome. Playing in the sand and doing nothing.